I'm Austin,
I'm Chris.
and we are back with our ill-informed reviews for another year. Today we're doing the 2015 Oscar nominees for Best Film.
First we have American Sniper.
So it's directed by Clint Eastwood, and it's about the US sniper Chris Kyle, I think his name is, who's like the deadliest sniper in US history. Took out a whole lot of bad guys in his 4 deployments to Afghanistan, and it tells not only his experience of war, but also the post-traumatic stress that he experiences back home and the risks that it sort of causes with his wife and his family being away and mentally not being back when he does finally come back home.
Yeah. So there was a bit of controversy surrounding this film.
Indeed. Bradley Cooper's Texan accent is just shocking, isn't it? I didn't believe it at all. Like, he needs to work on his twang, doesn't he? Can I have another steak, please? Bitch.
But this movie did make him look very tough because of his...
Well, he worked out hard. He put on a lot of weight. It's a bit of a transformation for him, not just like the curly hair that he had in... What was that other one? He was nominated for
American
last year?
Gangster?
No, not that one. Whichever one you're in, you know the one.
Hustle. American Hustle.
American Hustle, there we go. It's a lot better than that. Well, he just put some curlers in his hair. Oh, Oscar nomination, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Anyway, it's a good film. Is it going to win the Oscar though?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither.
Next in the category is Birdman. Now this movie I wasn't really a big fan of. But I hear it's doing really well, so good on you.
So Birdman stars Michael Keaton, and it's about an actor who used to be a comic book hero called Birdman, and he's now not famous anymore and is trying to recapture some of that spotlight by staging this play. So it's sort of like life imitating art, because Michael Keaton used to be Batman. He hasn't had a big role in a while either, so this is sort of his comeback, and it's a lot of... They call it like a dark comedy. It's so dark that we didn't really see any of the humour, did we? We didn't find it very funny. I think it's more for people who sort of know the ins and outs of Broadway, behind the scenes sort of thing. Maybe the movie critics know that sort of thing, and that's why they loved it so much. But we didn't really like it, did we?
Yeah, it was just boring.
And we can see, like, yes, technically it's very good. It does all look like the one shot throughout the film, except for the end. I think there's a few cutaways to other things, but at the same time you're limited because you can't cut to stuff, and in this MTV generation, like, we're used to cut, whereas if you're using the one shot, you have to get people timing, and that's where, like, it is impressive that to get people coming in on time and doing the thing that you need to get everything flowing nicely. Technically it's good, but we didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I wasn't entertained.
So Best Picture winner, well, we say no, although it's won a shitload of awards, so it probably does have a good chance. But personally, yeah, we don't want it to win.
Next movie that is nominated is Boyhood.
Now tell us all about Boyhood, because I know you watched all of this film from start to finish and loved it, so what's it about?
This movie is about a boy who grew up in front of the camera.
Sort of.
Apparently it's pretty good. I've heard from people it's pretty good.
So it's filmed over 12 years, and it's using the same actors during those 12 years, so you get to see the kids grow up during that time, and you follow the boy during his boyhood. That's where the title comes from, really. And Ethan Hawke and... what's her name?
Patricia
Arquette play the parents. It's a boring movie.
Oh.
Again, premise is very nice, and applaud to him for such an ambitious project for filming, over 12 years to make one film, but I just didn't like it. I thought it was quite boring. It was winning a lot of awards. I think it's not winning so much now as it was at the start of the awards seasons, but it could win. I think it's still got a chance.
Next up we have The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Another one that you know all about, so I'll leave that to you.
This movie is a very artsy-fartsy movie. It's very colourful. It's about a hotel and trying to get clients in and all the the fun things that happen in a hotel.
Right. It's a comedy from Wes Anderson, one of those quirky films that he usually makes. Not my sort of humour. I didn't really enjoy it. I mean, I could see where it's supposed to be entertaining. I didn't laugh out loud once, but I normally don't laugh out loud, so I didn't even low-T. So I'm going to score this one very highly.
When he says low-T, he means LSTM.
OMG.
The Imitation Game.
Starring Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. He's about 38 years old this year, but he looks very young, doesn't he?
Uh-huh.
So this film is pretty complex and it's pretty out of the ordinary type of film. It's based on a war movie, but it's based...
It's not based on a war movie, it's based on real life.
So it's
war
not based on a war
experience.
movie. It's based on a wartime...
So Britain is trying, well, it's in the middle of the war, they're trying to defeat the German, they want to crack the Enigma code because the Germans are sending out their information to everyone via this code that if they know what they're saying, they might be able to win the war. Eventually, Benedict builds this machine and he is able to decode the messages and helps Britain to, or not just Britain, helps the Allies win the war. And, well, it's not even like that, is it? It actually takes a few years and actually have to pick and choose where they're going to actually
Yeah, it's all
win.
strategic.
Yeah. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because they still had to sacrifice their own troops and let people die so that they could win in the end, so that the Germans wouldn't catch on that they knew what they were doing. Otherwise, they'd change the code and they'd have to start all over again. For
me, this movie is probably a clear contender for the best movie. I think it has substance, it has entertainment value, and it was just good. It was interesting story.
It was a good movie. It hasn't really been winning any awards. I don't think it's going to win, and I think I can put that down to one reason, because the character that Benedict plays was a fucking poof.
Selma.
Selma tells of the civil rights movement and the protests that they had in Selma in the USA, where the whiteys basically bashed the shit out of all the blackies for trying to protest. What were they trying to protest?
Freedom.
Their freedom. They wanted freedom. Anyway, there's no way this film's going to win because it was directed by a woman.
It was quite boring. I know it was real and all that.
It was boring.
It was boring though, and I don't think it was very... Yes, these events did happen, but I think things that happened to the African Americans was a lot worse than it showed on this movie.
Next we've got The Theory of Everything.
I actually really like this movie. It's very interesting to see how Stephen Hawking has had to live in the past whatever year that he's now.
Yeah. I think he did a really good job of pretending to be somebody that could walk at the start. Like, how did they get him to walk around and then play his younger, when he's playing his younger self? Like, the movie magic happening there was fantastic. He deserves an Oscar just for doing that, I think.
Yes. But I think it was brilliant acting, brilliant story. I really do think they also showed how these lives were just so
It's hardly
tormented,
isn't it?
Yeah, and I can't imagine the wife Jane, she had to put up with so much. Whiplash is about this kid trying to make it into a jazz band playing drums, and the instructor, the composer, is a really hard ass.
Okay, stop saying hard and ass so much. So J.K. Simmons, the guy from Oz, that's what we know him. You might know him as J. Jameson from Spider-Man movies, or
Oh yeah.
other little unknown roles. He does pretty good. I mean, all he does is yell insults at people, doesn't he? How hard is it to yell abuse at people?
Yeah, but the abuse was really funny. Like, it was shockingly funny.
He's going to win Best Picture. Outside chance, I think.
I don't think so either.
So, what's your top 3
I think
movies?
3 movies that deserve to win this category is Theory of Everything, The Imitation Game, maybe American Sniper.
Out of all those movies, what I would like to win, probably American Sniper. Theory of Everything, Imitation Game was alright. What I think is going to win, I think it's going to come down to between Birdman and Boyhood, and I think Birdman will probably win out for this one.
I think Birdman will win as well.
So you have it, we're both going with Birdman. What do you guys think at home? Comment down below, let us know, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.